Well, hello there and welcome to my small hobby YouTube channel. My name is Tomo and today we're going to be building this 1/35th scale Bf109-G6 Rocket Edition from Border Models. This is a fantastic model kit that I have reviewed some while ago, and you can check out that video up on the top corner. But yeah, today it's finally time to open the box, see what I have inside, what's the mystery, and this is the mystery. See the rockets. These are metal rockets, and this is the figure, and of course the decals, which I'll be using because this is going to be a rocket edition, so that's why. This is the model of the pilot that comes with the kit. I'm not going to be using it in this particular build because I don't want to obscure the detail in the cockpit, but I'm gonna paint it anyway to see how it looks. So right, the first things first, we'll tackle the engine. As you can see, we have beautiful instructions. They're not colored, but they're pretty straightforward and simple. Here is the cockpit, and we'll be doing that later. And of course, here another page, you can see how all this thing go together. For the most part, I think this model is pretty relaxing to assemble. I really enjoyed this first portion because it was just simple. Everything fit together nicely. There's no horrible sanding or misalignment or anything like that. It just fits together. Not as good as the Mia, but close enough. Some of the things are almost friction fitted, just like this cover for the engine, but you know, I do use glue since this is going to be a permanent addition. Now, there are various options how you want to display this model. You can display it either with the engine covers off or on, up or down, and depending on that, you're gonna have to make a decision whether or not you're gonna do some excess detail work on the engine. If not, if the covers are gonna be down, then there's really no point in doing any detail work on the engine. But if you're gonna display it like I am going to do, then having a detailed book on Messerschmitt is a very welcome addition, and I'm using this one for my reference to show me exactly how these engines were supposed to look. Of course, in the book we have several different types of Messerschmitts displayed, and I took inspiration from some of them. That's why it's a mixed bag of different parts, mostly different colors, but you'll see that later on. This was my go-to book on how the aircraft is supposed to look, and I drew inspiration from this book as well. You can still find these books on Amazon. I found this one on amazon.de for 25 euros hardback. It's a really nice book. If you want it, you can still find it. And right now here you'll see E11. This is not correct. It's on the sprue D48, just so you know. This was one of the misprints in the manual in this particular case. So I found it, assembled it, no problem. Everything just fits together nicely, and the detail on the engine is fantastic. If you are going to display the model with the door covers, the engine door covers up, or maybe even off, then this is going to look fantastic. As you can see, my sausage fingers are trying to attach some of the more finer details on the engine, but I am forced to take up tweezers just to attach some of the parts. These exhaust vents are the most annoying on the engine because they just don't want to stay inside the holes, and I had just a dog of a time attaching them, but once they were in, I just kind of aligned them slightly with tweezers like here, and et voila, we are done. And now we have to attach the harness, the electrical harness for the spark plugs, I believe this is. And again, this one is again a little bit fiddly. Some of the holes don't quite align that well, but you know, it's not going to be seen. If you press it in very much, it's fine, just like here. You maybe can use a little bit of a putty on top where the carburetor I think is, but it's fine. The oil pan is again just glued on the side. There's two oil pans, one on each side. It's a straightforward job anyway. And there's a connection for the pipe from the oil pan to the engine right here. And afterwards I'm gonna be doing some more detail work, but that's gonna be in another video. This is the engine so far finished. One thing to do would be on the bottom. Well, I have to attach the oil pan and return hoses. But so far it's looking pretty sharp from all sides. You can see I've aligned the exhaust pretty much straight. And here's the turbo and the attaching exhausts from the bottom and the oil pan as well. I did have to use minor filler on top on the cover because I made a hole. Basically what happened is I wasn't paying attention when I was taking the part out of the sprue tree and cut it a little bit too much, and that's why we have a nick in the plastic, but otherwise it's a easy fix. Yeah, this is the engine done. Now here we come to the fun part, the cockpit. It is a pretty clean cockpit, I must say, and the instructions are pretty clean as well. You can see everything clearly, and it's big. I really like that it has big parts because I'm used to 1/72 scale models where you kind of don't have a lot of cockpit detail, but here you really see every single thing. And I'm jumping ahead a little bit because I was filming off camera, not on purpose. I wasn't putting my parts in the frame, so most of the build was basically out of focus or out of frame, so I'm sorry for that. I'm a noob still, but yeah, whatever I do show, it's pretty simple and it's pretty detailed. Look, this is a trimmer wheel, it goes on the side, and this is the little radio. Now you're going to be seeing something rather atrocious. Because I'm using this Quinta Studio model decal, 3D decals, I have to do something despicable. I have to destroy the details. Avert your eyes. This is going to be painful. This is just blasphemy, don't you think? But yeah, I had to do it. Flush. This is the cover piece that covers the center mount machine gun. And on top you can see some detail, raised detail. You have to remove that if you're using the Quinta Studio decals. To be completely honest with you guys, once you have assembled the cockpit, the raised detail on top of this machine gun cover, it's not going to be seen unless you're going to be squinting very hard and looking with the flashlight or maybe even a magnifying glass. This is the front firewall on the cockpit, and this is the cover for the front mounted machine guns, one on each side. Now this is the heads-up display for the pilot so that it can see the targets. I kind of wished it would be transparent, and I kind of wished I made it from scratch, but it was okay. Okay, so machine guns, 2 on each side, you can see here. I've prepared this one earlier, and this is how it went together. We have the mount on the bottom, we have the nozzle, it's pretty simple, and then we have this feeder mechanism, I believe it is, and the upper lock plate. Sorry for the shaking, but yeah, 2 machine guns. And here's a nice overview of what we have done and what we still have to do inside the cockpit. These are the 2 halves of the fuselage. They go together very nicely. There's not very big gaps on the seams. You'll see here, I'm closing in, you can see a pretty tight fit, nice and flush. On top there's a tiny bit of a gap on the front, but nothing a little bit of a putty can fix. And on the front again, really nice fit as well as on the bottom, and that hole on the bottom has to be there. Now right here, there's a mistake, D82. No, it's not D82, it's on the D, but it's 81. Yeah, well anyway. This is the modification that needs to be done on the cockpit sidewalls. You can see we have to do some sanding and scraping to remove the surface detail, as well as kind of putty in the little top hole on the upper right corner, because I couldn't remove it by sanding, so we'll just use a little bit of a putty. And now we're quickly coming to the end of the first video. I'm going to be showing these videos as I build the model, so it's going to be much more manageable. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the video. And the last thing we need to do is to accommodate the 3D decals on the fuse box and the oxygen delivery system. Here we just place the decal directly on top. but on the radio and the fuse box we need to remove the relief, so that's what we've done. So yeah, that's it for now. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.